our plan is always to add as many good pieces as we can, and really the star of the show is Katie and how she was able to fit it all together. I mean, we're at the top of the league in spending, and we're making it work, and she makes that work, and it was exceptional because we had opportunities come to us that we weren't expecting financially, and she was able to still make it work, which was sensational. We've layered in a lot of costs this year, next year, and those things are factors as we go forward, but we'll manage them the best way that we can.
You were screwing it up, drafting Mom's first round. Then you traded for a man who's perfectly round. Ooh, and I've got the feeling he'll make our defense right. Can't stop thinking about his dance moves every night. Ooh, I will admit,
it's hard to say
that Duke had a real good draft. Yeah, I will admit,
I can't believe
that
it.
Duke had a real good draft. Let's start with the guy who can actually sack. He might have short arms, but he sneaks in through the back. 6th and 7th rounds, got some serious men. A childhood Bengals fan, a fat guy and tight end. Ooh, I will admit,
it's hard to say
that Duke had a real good draft. Yeah, I will admit,
I can't believe
that
it.
Duke had a real good draft.
Welcome to the number one Bengals podcast. I'm your host, Adi McDuke. I'm joined as always by Dr. Hoji, the electric Esmoji, and John Double Brain Sheeran.
Yeah.
And guys, I can honestly say since the drafting of Joe Burrow, I have not been more impressed with this front office.
Somebody was listening.
Yes.
And that somebody was Duke Tobin. And he gave all the credit to Katie Blackburn for whatever reason, and that's fine. But he was listening, and he heard what we were saying. And what we were saying is, listen, this team, this Joe Burrow guy ain't getting any younger. It's got to be this year. You can't just keep saying next year. And with this defense, which was the shortcoming last year, with Al Golden at the helm, and Al Golden is an underrated coach, really. He's an underrated coach. He did good for having pretty much nothing. And if you say he had Trey, he didn't have a healthy Trey. So he did good for having pretty much almost nothing. And now he's got something. And as everybody knows, when
he's got a lot. He's got a lot of things.
He got a whole lot
let's
of
be
something.
clear. Let us be clear. Dexter Lawrence was 340 pounds, John, when he was born. I think, or was it high school? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Now we're talking what, close to 400 easily. I mean, the man is,
Yeah.
But he moves, John. He moves like he's like, I don't know. He moves like you, like if he was John's size.
Can we just address why and how he's even here in the first place?
Yeah, let's address that.
Yeah, John.
It's not shocking that the Bengals like Dexter Lawrence. It's not shocking that Dexter Lawrence was someone that the Bengals wanted to sign or just bring in on the team. What's shocking is Dexter Lawrence wasn't available for them to sign, and he wasn't available for them to trade unless they did something that they've never done before, and they haven't done anything remotely comparable in over 30 years, which is when they traded up 5 spots in the 95 draft to take Kajana Carter first overall. The Bengals do not give up first-round picks. They don't give up any picks higher than like the 5th round straight up for a player. They haven't done that since the 90s. So for them to do this for a player of Dexter Lawrence's caliber, despite the fact that, yes, the Bengals absolutely adore these height, weight, speed freaks. Like, they have them all over the team. Dexter Lawrence is obviously a mammoth of a human being, but like for a team that has Orlando Brown Jr., Amarius Mims, Shamar Stewart, like the roster is littered with guys that fit that description, but Lawrence happens to be the very best of them, and they could not have gotten him unless they did something completely unprecedented. So for them to bring him in as they tee up for this draft, I think really did set the tone for how impressive this whole week was.
Yeah, and John,
Would you
and
say
that's-
it's fair,
yeah.
John, to call Cincinnati a land of giants now?
Yes.
Yeah.
John, I would say this. I think what Duke was saying in that presser, okay, was that I was kind of shocked when Katie Blackburn told me we can actually spend money. That was his reaction. Was kind of like, wait, that's an option for us to get close to the cap? And she was like, yeah, I guess this one time. I'm going to be nice this one time. But
I don't think it was
get
being
us spoiled.
nice. I don't think it was being nice. I really think they read the room. And the elephant in that room that they were reading was a man named Cincinnati fans.
Yes.
And Cincinnati fans was very angry. He was belligerent. He was a little drunk. And he was like, look, I don't want to attend any more Bengals games.
No.
I don't want to cheer any more Bengals losses until you fix this broken bus. I ain't getting on it. And in fact, a lot of people were getting off that bus. I got off that bus. I've been quoted as saying I hate the Cincinnati Bengals, which is not something a fan usually says.
No, but we've been saying it a lot. And let's be honest, this show, we have not done the show for at least 2-3 weeks, I think, John. And
No, more like
big-
7 months.
7 months. And we kind of stopped in the middle of the season, which you don't see a lot
No.
for a football show. Usually, because football season is not that long. But we couldn't even make it through 4 months, John, right? And the reason was that it was hopeless. Let's be honest, it was hopeless.
It was hopeless. It
But
was
they-
hapless.
they
It was
go out-
heartbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I feel like a lot of us are infused with hope. But let's see, because John, as one of our fans did say, John did use the K word, which is Kajana.
Right.
Is this
You
going to
don't
be a
ever
bust?
That's what that
Don't
word
use
was.
Yeah, K word is Kajana.
Yeah, it's very hurtful, John. It's very hurtful because, everybody makes mistakes. You have to let go. You can. But John, let me tell you something. Look, Dexter Lawrence, amazing player. And I just want to say something just to get it on the record, John, because Dexter Lawrence is also a very good football player. Like, they did not just draft him because, can I say it, John? Because he's sexy. I mean, he does other things too. I just want to make it clear there's no legal issues involved with bringing Sexy Dexy to Cincinnati, right?
You certainly don't sell as many jerseys though if he's not sexy. I mean,
I got to tell you something. I'm very hopeful because people talk about the injuries and the kind of the decline and play and all that. He really didn't want to be in New York. And when I heard his first interview, I was like, that is an outstanding man.
Yeah.
Because he was so grateful and he was not bitter. He was just like, yeah, I just kind of wanted to move on. But I'm very grateful for what they did for me. And he was very excited about the Bengals. And then with the dances, he's got a sense of humor. I mean, he seems like a beautiful man.
it's always nice when it works in the other way and the player wants to come to the Bengals and not the other way around, in which, I don't know, maybe you leave for the Baltimore Ravens or something like that. It's a
we're
completely
talking
different
about
situation.
Trey the betrayer. That's why they called him Trey the betrayer Hendrickson, who betrayed us. He betrayed. He didn't just trade.
Just like Dex Lawrence betrayed the Giants, right?
Yeah, which is good.
Well, I don't think that Trey betrayed the Bengals. I think that really what happened was they just, once they stop thinking that you're valuable or as valuable as the market dictates, you're worthless to them. And that's how they treated him. They treated him like dirt, John. They really did, for someone who's been as productive as he has. I mean, even last year, and he played like 7 games, had 4 sacks. I mean, he was still a good player.
Yeah.
So
He was decent.
He deserved a serious offer from them. But anyways, we have Dexter Lawrence. And John, the thing about Dexter Lawrence is he takes up so much space that he transformed the entire offseason and draft. Because they're like, oh, we don't need massive, we don't need to go out there and get another big defensive end. Or that we can get the little tiny defensive end who just kind of sneaks through the cracks because Dexter Lawrence is, filling in the rest of the crack. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like, or like, they don't, we don't need linebackers because when is a running back ever going to get to the linebackers anymore?
Exactly. Yeah.
So John, go ahead.
No, I think the addition of Lawrence, obviously, it frees up a lot of opportunities for the rest of the defensive line. I don't think directly it was, oh, like they had the biggest nose tackle in the NFL and now they can sacrifice size. I was just equally impressed that we've heard, murmurs about the Bengals being interested in smaller defensive end or edge prospects in recent years. Nolan Smith being one in 2023. Jalen Walker last year in 2025 was taken right before Shamar Stewart. But for them to actually pull the trigger on the body type of Cassius Howe with obviously their highest draft pick left, I thought it was really telling of like, yeah, like they are not afraid of actually going through with a different sort of archetype at this position. It speaks to obviously what this defense will look like, because it's not going to be the traditional 4-3 that you remember you always associate with the Bengals. There's going to be more odd fronts. There's going to be more situations in which both edges are standing up, and we've seen that here and there over the past 5 or 6 years now. After Lou Anarumo kind of set his footing with the Bengals defense, and it has carried over into Al Golden. So this is when it's 1st and 10 at the beginning of the game, and there isn't like 3 receivers out there. It's going to be a 3-4 defense, which Lawrence is right in the middle of your defensive line, and Cassius Howe, who is a phenomenal pass rusher. He was a productive, competent pass rusher coming out of college, and those guys can translate immediately into having NFL success. I thought that they were still at least one piece away from this defensive line really getting to a point where they can actually be an above average group. And now they have it in Howe, who's not going to be a starter. He's going to play a couple hundred snaps, but he's not being thrust into a role that he can't handle immediately. But you have depth at edge, you have depth at defensive tackle, and you can rotate guys in and out, and you can be scheme diverse as well, because these guys can play in both the even and odd fronts as well. So I thought the Howe pick was very impressive, and it was, again, a deviation away from where they normally go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I mean, well, we did have that one guy, Carl
Lawson.
Lawson, who was very good for us. But then we went in the opposite direction, getting these like guys like 6'7", 6'8", right, with the perfect Ross scores.
Yeah.
And they haven't done much. But John, don't you think now we have Jonathan Allen? We got the Mafia guy. We got a lot of different guys in the offseason. I feel like having that piece, that ball wrecker, that ball breaker, in the
ball
middle
buster.
of the
Right through the crack.
Just taking
Right.
it through that crack,
crack,
fill in the
sexy.
holes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is not why we traded for him.
No.
Not because of the sexiness. It's a request that's been made by Katie Blackburn and the Blackburn firm, if you will.
Yeah.
But, John, point is, all those athletic guys now, we're going to see them maximize their talent.
Maxing it
I mean,
to the max.
The run defense goes from being a weakness to a strength with the bulky, guys that we have now in the middle.
And do we talk about the offense?
Yeah, we got the tight end. We got some good depth on the offensive line, John. I mean, the fact that Joe Goodberry was excited about our 6th and 7th round picks, I was like, what is going on? And so here I was just, this is Goodberry's grades on the guys that we got. And as you can see, John, Landon Robinson, very good. Very good a score for Goodberry. That's the defensive tackle who grew up a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
And he wanted to come to the Bengals. And this guy, Jack Endrise, who is a tight end, and he can catch and he can block, right, John?
Yeah, he's a better catcher than blocker at the moment, but I think he can do a little bit of both.
You do a little bit of both, which is more. It's a little bit more than we've ever had. And then you have Brian Parker, who's interior offensive line. I think that Goodberry was saying, "Hey, this guy can play right away. I mean, he's going to be a long-term solution." Yeah, John.
He should have been drafted between the 3rd and 4th round.
Yeah.
When they were on the clock in the 3rd round, I tweeted out like I would take Brian Parker at this spot. And I was shocked to see him fall as far as he did. I don't know if it's just because he's just an average in terms of physical size. He's 6'4", 310, not the length that you would hope for an offensive tackle, and that's where he played the majority of his time in college, but he projects very easily to center or guard. He played center in high school, which was actually just north of downtown Cincinnati. It's St. X, so he's from the area. He's familiar with the area, and I think they view him as someone that can if they have an injury this year, he can fill in whatever spot that they need him to, and he can keep the offensive line afloat. So for a 6th-rounder as a immediate impact, that's phenomenal. But I honestly do think that he is someone that can start for them in 2027 if they move on from Dalton Reisner at right guard. I think that highly of him.
I thought I'm so confused because they say Dalton Reisner is so good. He did so well.
He is
for
good,
us.
but he's only here for another year, and I don't know if they want to,
I-
re-sign
Poor
him.
I'm
guy,
ama-
poor guy.
I-
He goes and he starts these public media campaigns saying, "Just keep me around." I don't know why they want to keep.
You know,
him around.
I'm not.
But-
I know both of you guys don't like to talk about the obvious, but I think the obvious thing that really surprises me is Zach Taylor's ability to hold on to his job. I mean, like if you look at who was fired this year,
Well, did you see?
and yet no, but I'm saying like, look, now everybody's excited again.
yeah,
everybody's
but
excited again.
did you see? But did you see what Sexy Dexy said?
What did he say?
One of the things he said was, I know. What did he say, John? Like, I know that people love playing for Zach. I want to play for Zach.
Yeah, he has a great culture. I don't know if he
and
said
players
that,
want to
but
play for him.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
like it was between John or Jim Harbaugh, one of the two in New York, who are like, let's be honest, John, not the most pleasant. He's not the most pleasant person in the world.
The rough
And
mulligans.
even his old players were coming out and saying he works us, so hard. Like we're practicing late in the season for like 7 hours a day, and like my knees don't move anymore, and they're cracking and stuff. I don't know. I don't remember the exact words.
Which Harbaugh
but-
was this?
John Harbaugh. I'm not calling on John. I actually know it's John, right?
John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh. Yeah,
It's always a John.
it's always a John. And so the thing is, he was faced with playing for that jerk or for Zach,
Sweet old Zach.
Zach. And so he wanted to play for Zach. I'm saying, right, John? I mean, that was the reason. One of the reasons he
playing for
accepted
Zach
it.
is like working at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, it's very fun.
It's light, it's breezy, and there's some mysterious stuff going on in the back room.
It's definitely a sense that he just kind of wanted out of New York, whether he felt like the situation was stale or he just didn't vibe with, the new direction that they were going. And yeah, I think the biggest positive about Zach in the position that he is that he does care about his players, and he does want the absolute best for them, whether it's in April, whether it's in the middle of the season, whatever the case may be. And that's always been something that he's been commended for by anyone in that locker room. So whether BJ Hill told him that because BJ Hill played with him in New York, whether it was anyone from his Clemson days that has been on the Bengals, like whatever intel that he got in terms of what his thoughts are on Cincinnati, like I'm sure he was very excited that the Bengals gave up the 10th pick in a very unexpected way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all are. We all are. I mean, really, I think we can wrap it up by saying, who they?
I would
Maybe.
I would put a maybe on the who day.
Maybe
John.
they.
I would say
Mayday.
Definitely a who.
Definitely
Definitely
who, because John, we didn't even talk about their 2nd and 3rd round picks, which tells you
We talked
Nobody
about
even
this
knows
back
who
in-
they are.
It's Cassius Howe. We
Oh,
talked
They
sorry,
were
third
mentioned
and
in the
fourth.
song.
Sorry, 3rd and 4th rounds, right?
right.
We got
Card.
the
A Bengals fan, a fat guy, and
tight end.
a tight end.
Those are the last 3 picks. Those were good, but then the middle, like 2 or 3 picks, were not good. Because
They,
okay.
they all have some risk, right? Dakaria Davis is a raw cornerback, I would say, who
Yeah.
had some production, but he's kind of a high cut athlete at 6'4", and I think there's going to be some kinks that he needs to work out
Yeah.
in terms of
Who's
how
going to
he
get
covers.
cooked if he's raw?
Well,
That's what
sure.
happens.
I hope
yeah,
not.
but- yeah, you don't want to eat a raw cornerback.
No.
But with Connor Liu in the 4th, the only risk there is that he suffered a torn ACL, and that's why he
Yeah.
fell to the 4th round. But he probably would have gone earlier if he was healthy and he tested, because he is a high end athlete, and I think people will see that as soon as he's out on the field. And that's probably your Ted Karras replacement whenever he decides to hang it up as well. And then right after that, though, Colby Young, who is a bit older,
Yeah.
not as productive. He had the off field incident. I don't think it's fair to call him Jermaine Burton, because Jermaine Burton was a completely different
No.
person. And Colby Young has been regarded as nothing but like an amazing teammate and an amazing guy to have in the locker room. So I think Bengals fans will become Colby Young fans, during this offseason once they get to know him. And it's just about, can he be an outlier for how unproductive he was in his college career, regardless of why he was off the field.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals, Zach came out and he said, look, we did the research. We love this guy. He's a great guy. He seems like an amazing guy. And it's just, he's misunderstood. Connor Liu, I will say, John, I believe the trend now is you want players to tear their ACLs, get it out of the way, right? It's like it's something. Then they come back, they rehab it, they make it stronger. It's kind of, I mean, at this point, it's basically like cracking your back or your knuckles or something, right?
It is
Yeah,
common,
yeah,
but you could always be Jamal McCoy and you like a screw in your knee, and you don't know if you're going to play in 5 years. So there's always a risk.
Yeah. Well, the point is this. I think the draft, we added some depth to the offensive line. We added a little bit of a spice to the pass rush. But the main thing is how we, we rebuilt the defensive line. That's what got us all excited. But
Yeah.
no linebackers. We don't expect any linebackers coming down the pipeline in the free. I mean, there's nobody left, really.
There's some.
Bobby Wagner, maybe. I don't know.
Like there's a couple names if they really need one, and I don't think it's going to happen immediately. I think they're going to see what these guys look like, and if they feel like they need like a depth guy, I think that's how it could happen around training camp, which is why they signed guys like Noah Fant, Donald Reisner to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we technically call this show Draft Grades, so I think, John, we need to get your grade.
I had it at a B plus. I feel confident in that. I think the big swings, the risks for both Davis and Young bring it down a little bit, but I thought they absolutely nailed the second round pick. I thought Lou was a great pick in the fourth, and I thought they got an A plus on the end of day 3. So because it's day 3, you don't know how much opportunity those guys are actually going to get to fulfill their potential, but
Right.
They were still really good swings to take there. So B plus for me.
Well, you didn't include the 28-year-old superstar.
I mean, he wasn't the
tackle
draft
with
pick.
that, yeah. So, I mean, that was our first. It's a clean first rounder. for him,
If
so,
you include him, then it's
Yeah.
definitely in the A range. But
Yeah.
I'm going off the guys that they drafted.
Okay.
Well, I am including. I'm going to give me an A minus, and
Yeah.
part of my A minus is meant for encouragement because I want to encourage these, Bengals executives to keep doing what you're doing, care about
Yes,
the team.
yes. It's
So I'm
been-
giving you an
spend
A
money,
minus.
it's
Keep
okay.
it going, and I like Duke Tobin's talk. I thought
Yeah.
he seemed very, very almost like he was about to fall asleep, and yet still excited. He rode that line very carefully, very calm, very reserved, but then confident.
Yes.
And that's good. That made me feel good.
And I'm going to give it. Well, that is not the outro that we wanted, but I am going to give it a minus based on John's assessment because I do not know most of these players, but I really like Sexy Dexy.
Well, you know some of them though.
I know some of them now that you
Okay.
have talked about them. Yes. And with that, that is all we got for Dr. Hoji the Electric Esmoji
Right.
and John Double Brain Sheeran. We will see
Working
you
on the
next
triple
time.
brain.
We will see you next time. So long as you the pies. Don't forget to go to our Patreon. If we can find the link, there you go. Here it is. And you can support John and John's family, John's acquaintances.
Support our next
them.
show in 10 years when we have our 20th anniversary.
Oh, that's right. 10 years with John Sheeran. Amazing. Never thought it would happen. But all right. That's all we got. We'll see you next time. So long, sweetie pies.